Today's video, we are going to be talking about the advantages and disadvantages of high-speed off-roading and rock crawling the new 2024 Ranger Raptor. So, if you're here thinking about getting a Ranger Raptor, between the competition, you plan on off-roading it, whether you're doing high-speed off-roading or rock crawling, this video is going to be for you. Now, if you're thinking about just getting a Ranger Raptor because you want a mid-size truck or you're swapping mid-size trucks, don't wait. Find a dealership. Woodhouse is where I got mine. They do MSRP deals. And get yourself a Ranger Raptor. You will not be disappointed as I get eaten alive by mosquitoes out here. So I wanted to sort of talk through the pros and cons of high-speed off-roading this truck and rock crawling this truck. I have done both. If you guys haven't seen those videos, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. I come from different generations of Raptors. I do high-speed off-roading. I do rock crawling. Do all of that here in the lovely state of Colorado. So if that stuff perks your ears, please like, subscribe, and share this content. So let's talk about the good. Let's talk about all the great things that this car comes from out of the factory and the capability that it's able to do. This truck was built and engineered to be a high-speed off-roader. It is meant to be a more playful, nimble truck than the bigger brother F-150 Raptor. It is also meant for more high speed than a Bronco Raptor. That is more of a rock crawler. So the way they engineered and built this truck, that was their purpose and intention. Now, having said all that, this truck is unbelievable in high-speed off-roading. I have done very small sample sizes. I've done 2 trips locally. But if you guys stay tuned, I'm doing my Wyoming trip here in a couple months, and I'm going to the Ranger Raptor Assault School in Salt Lake City, Utah. So keep a lookout for that. But all the off-roading that I've done for high speed specifically, I have done off-road mode. So what that means is it puts on the rear locker, it goes to 4 high. I turn off the rear locker and I leave it in 4 high. I haven't played around too much. I'm going to learn more at the school. And this truck gets sideways so easily. It is unbelievable. And it's not even a speed thing. Even slow, low speed corners, you give it a little throttle and, try to kick out the rear a little bit, and this thing just goes sliding. So I think it has to do with Watts links. I have to do it with the weight. I think it has to do with the 3-liter V6 twin turbo motor they got in here. But this truck is awesome for high-speed off-roading. It is built for high-speed off-roading. And if you haven't done it, please, please, please do it. Be safe while you do it. Make sure you're mapping and being responsible. You got comms, you got all that good stuff, lighting. But that's the best part about this truck thus far, is out of the box, none of these lights, none of the aftermarket stuff that I've done. This truck is awesome, high-speed off-roading. So I've never really done the Jeep trails before, the slow rock crawly. Again, I've had F-150 Raptors. They're full size. A lot of these trails in Colorado, they're meant for Jeeps. They're meant for Broncos. They're meant for more narrow vehicles. So I never really experienced it. And now with this platform, it fits. I'm able to do it. Now, you see some pinstriping here, which isn't that big of a deal, right? It's on the plastic. And guess what? We get these trucks to work hard, play hard. But now that I've done a little bit of low-speed off-roading, I had a wonderful time. If you haven't seen the video, it's one of the gnarliest off-roading trips I've ever done. It's the snow melt here in Colorado. The trails were open. People were driving through. I've never done it. I went with my brother, and we got this thing in some pretty deep water. So if you haven't seen it, please check out that video. But the challenge and the biggest thing that I see that makes this truck less capable than other trucks that I've seen is really comes down to two things, in my opinion. One, tire size. These tires, they say they're 33, but technically they're 32.5 inch tires. Okay. And that's fully inflated, 40 psi, 32.5 inch tires. Well, when you're off roading, you lower your psi because it gives you better contact pack, so you get better grip. So when you go down to 20 psi, let's say, because that's what I did, you're probably running a 31-inch tire. That's just the reality of it. Now, the challenge with that is that when you have a smaller height of tire, you are lower to the ground. So things where you have a higher tire, you can clear. With the smaller tires, you don't have the possibility to. So that to me is one of the biggest challenges with rock crawling. Now, high speed off roading, right? Yes, tire size matter, but you're not going over these big boulders, these big rocks where the clearance really matters. You're typically on a little bit more smoother road. There's some whoops involved. So having a smaller tire isn't that big of a deal as it is when you're slow speed off roading or rock crawling. So I've learned, and if you haven't seen the video, I went through some of the damage. I mean, the lower control arm all banged up, the lower shock all banged up, the entire skid plate scratched up, doing its job. So for me, the number one challenge that I have with this truck with low speed off roading is the tire size. Two, this truck is $55,000 MSRP. Yes, you can add some options. I think fully loaded, you're close to 60. But when you look at the competition, you look at the Trail Hunter, the TRD Pro, the ATX, the Bison, they're all around $65,000, right? And there's a reason for it. Now, I think this is a smoking deal for the price if you get it at MSRP, which you should. This is a smoking deal. I think from the performance standpoint, daily driving, all of that, this is it, no doubt. For high speed off roading, this is it, no doubt. A king, you can look at any video that you want, people that are comparing it. This thing puts the competition to rest for high speed off roading. Now, for rock crawling, most of those competition the trucks that compete with this, have 35-inch tires. And it goes back to my first point. The bigger the clearance that you have, the bigger the tire, the more contact patch you have, the higher likelihood you have of not bottoming out and being able to clear that obstacle. The other thing that I've learned since owning this truck, and there's a reason why it's a little bit lower of a price point. Maybe it doesn't have as many features. The entire underneath of this truck is exposed. I repeat, the entire underneath of this truck is exposed. The only armor that this truck has is right here in the front. That front skid plate, which is steel, which is good. The gas tank is fully exposed. Drive shaft, fully exposed. All of those critical components of this truck, if you were to break, pierce, put a hole in when you're off-roading, you're done. You're done. And that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. The whole time I was off-roading, I banged up the wheels. I banged up pretty much all four of them. My biggest concern was the gas tank. Clearance wasn't great. I knew I was bottoming out in certain spots, but I was really concerned about the gas tank. And I'm glad I didn't pierce it. Nothing happened, wasn't touched. But to me, that is a big problem when you're slow speed off-roading or rock crawling. So you're probably wondering, all right, all this guy is doing is complaining about the truck. I'm not. I love this thing. I have zero regrets. And sorry, I'm moving my hands like crazy. I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes out here trying to film this video for you guys. I have no regrets with this truck whatsoever. I absolutely love this truck. For how I use it, what I use it for my family, it is perfect. And all the things that I didn't like about the Gen 1, or even the Gen 2 for that matter, Raptors, this solves that. This is way faster, smaller package. The interior is awesome. The screen is great. That center screen, when you're off-roading, you see all these people put the iPads, right? I had buddies that did iPads. That was actually my next modification for my Gen 1. This screen, you can get Onyx Off-Road, you can get Gaia, you can get any of those things on the big screen right there. It is awesome. I absolutely love it. But I wanted to make this video to just talk through, hey, what is this truck really good at? That, from my personal experience, it's the high-speed off-roading. This thing is nimble, agile, playful. It is a very sporty truck. Now, if you plan on rock crawling this thing, I called out two of the biggest problems with this truck. Number one, the tires. Got to get bigger tires. Got to. That's the only way. And I'm hoping to do that pretty soon. The other thing, armor. Armor underneath is non-existent. So you got to be really careful with your lines. You got to be really careful where you put this truck, because you don't want to hit the drive shaft. You don't want to hit, gas tanks, numerous components for that matter. But that's it for today's video. If you guys stayed till the end, I can't thank you enough. I appreciate you supporting me. I appreciate everybody watching. If you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe. We're going to do a lot more content. We're going to do a lot more fun stuff with this truck. In a couple weeks, I'm going to the Ford Performance Driving School for the Ranger Raptor. I got a pretty exclusive access that I'll tease right now, but you guys got to stay tuned for. And then I'm doing some high-speed off-roading in Wyoming, baby. It's going to be a lot of fun. But that's it for now. I appreciate you guys watching. Peace.